I did not have a picture or video to go with my voiceover story, so I went with a photo session of me and my dog riding wheelies on a quad. I know it's completely unrelated, but I had to put something to look at. Look at how big he is smiling. He freaking loves it. So a little over 6 months ago, I decided to start making a video a day, and I was just going to try and make a video a day for a year. And through that, I figured I needed a little space for some filler, so I figured I'd tell funny stories once a week and also release Invention once a week. I had over 52 inventions that I had thought of, and I just had them all listed, and I decided to open source all my ideas in the hopes to get others to open source their ideas as well, as far as energy inventions go, and a better source of utilizing energy, and maybe even over Unity or free energy. I think that it's possible, and I think that it's being suppressed, and I think that we should just open source it and do what we can to try and help the world when it comes to energy and energy inventions. And to hold up my end, I like I said, release an invention a week for free, and I also tell funny stories, and I try and share a little bit of laughter with the world and just create a little bit of comedy here and there. So this one's a little combination of both, but I want to classify it underneath the funny story category. So I was out on the road working, remodeling Taco Buenos at the time. This was around 2009. This was before Shark Tank. I'm really pretty sure. I'd have to go back and look at my emails and see verified in my other email account that I don't even know if I can get into, but this was 2009 before Shark Tank even had aired, and so I had an idea to try and help the world, and I had a little boy who had passed away, and I promised him I'd do everything I could to try and help the world. And at the time, I knew that our reliance upon oil and energy was creating conflict in the world and just creating independence on us and taking our freedoms. And it's a hard thing. And I know if that we could have a free source of energy for the people, it would give power to the people, literally. And so that's what I've been trying to really achieve. So I had an idea for a theoretical over Unity device. I have learned a lot more about how everything works since then, and have adapted my ideas to overcome the problems that I faced. But the main problem I was facing was one of Newton's laws, that you can't basically create more energy out of something that you're generating. So I'll explain it. My idea was to take a golf cart, an electric battery powered golf cart, take the back wheels off the golf cart, and on each wheel have it be a posi track, and have each wheel be a sprocket, and just replace the tire with a big huge sprocket, and run that sprocket to a generator, and have each wheel run to a big generator, and have one side loop back around and power the golf cart. And then take the other second generator and use it to power your home. And to me, it seemed like you could just create over Unity. But I guess the Newton's laws of physics dictate that you can't create more energy than you're using. So the use of spinning the tires to turn the sprockets would not generate enough electricity to overcompensate and produce more. And so that idea won't work because it's just the laws of physics. Now, I never got the chance to try it, but I think at some point we will advance enough to where we can overcome things like this, and we'll have super efficient generators or extremely efficient batteries, or there's going to be some point in which mankind will be able to overcome this. Since then, I realized that you need some kind of force to help cheat. And I used a naturally abundant force in this world, and I used gravity. And anything that falls downhill, we can just harness that energy, whether it be water or semi-trucks going off mountains or gravel at gravel plants going downhill, anything. Even a human walking up a hill and then riding this machine back down would produce mass amounts of energy. And from there, we can even use sprockets and pulleys to magnify it. Any kind of weight going downhill, we could harness and use just the power of gravity to produce mass amounts of energy. We could use gutters on houses, drainage ditches in cities, septic plants, anything. But that's my new evolved. And you can go to my video number 6, I do believe, one of my first videos. But I decided to use gravity as a tool to overcome Newton's laws of physics. So that is my new updated invention. But at the time, I did not have that, and I thought this was a good idea, and I wanted to just go try and get Marc Cuban to see if he would help out and maybe try and make this a reality. I knew it would need some tinkering and some money thrown at it, and I heard that he was a philanthropist and really wanted to try and help out. Like I said, this was before Shark Tank, but I had heard that he did like investing in people's inventions, and that was just kind of what he did. I've never been shy, and I always shoot for the moon, so I decided to just look him up and see if I could contact him and somehow find a way to talk to him and just run these ideas by him. And I really wanted to have a competition for a free energy invention as well, and I was hoping maybe someone would fund that. And it's just these ideas I've had for a long time, and like I said, I made a promise to my son to try and help the world, so I just always follow my heart. And I know my intentions are good, so I'm also not shy to go jump into weird situations. And I did get lucky enough to find him. We were in Dallas, Texas at the time, remodeling the Taco Bueno right by the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. And I just looked on the internet and was able to research him, and I didn't think it was actually his address, but lo and behold, we drove to his house, and it was his address. And I had a buddy with me, and we just, there were 2 guards at the gate, and I just kind of bullshitted my way right through it. I don't know how. I was like, yeah, I'm here to talk to Marc, and made it sound like it was just a thing, and I was there to do it. And they let me in, and I was at the inner little room or little house there, I guess, guard house through the inside. And I was hanging out in there, and they were waiting for the secretary, Marc Cuban's personal secretary. They'd radioed her, and she was going to come down and meet me and talk to me, And as they're talking to me, I keep talking a little bit more, and they keep pushing on me a little bit more. And at one point, you realize that they figured out that I did not have permission to be there, and there was no meeting. But by then it was too late, and they were just kind of chill with it. And they seemed pretty understanding. I kind of told my story, so the guards were actually pretty understanding, and just were at that point okay with it, because I'm always just an honest person. I don't lie. I just tried to just word things just right, and I just got lucky enough to word it just right. So the secretary comes down, and she basically is like, hey, I hear you're wanting to talk to Marc or whatever. And I was like, yeah, and I ran the idea by her, and I just said, I got this idea to try and help the world, and I'm wanting to try and just give the world the free energy for free, and I just want to make it a reality any way we can. And she said, well, that sounds pretty interesting. And she gave me Marc's direct email address, in which case I could directly email him. And she was just a super sweet, super nice lady that just did all she could to try and help me. And I really appreciate her for all she did. And so I wrote up these long emails. And at the time I had a printed up copy of some stuff I wanted to say, as well. And I gave it to her to give to him. And I don't know whether he actually ever got it or whether he actually ever read the emails. But I was so close, and at the time it may not have worked out, but I know this new invention I have, it's impossible for it to not work out. But yeah, I was able to go to Marc Cuban's house, get past his guards, and talk directly to his personal secretary and try to throw out an idea to her and to him, and just throw out a good idea to the world and try and give it away and help the world. I'm still plugging away, and I want to create a competition to where we just open source our free energy or over unity ideas, and whoever has the most energy efficient idea wins the competition. And if somebody like Marc Cuban or anybody that wanted to fund it could, and even if it could be crowdsourced and funded from the ground, grassroots effort, just some way to where we could create a competition to create over unity and free energy. I think if I could take my new gravity invention and turn it into fruition, it would be more efficient than anything that we're currently using or doing. But I don't think that it's the most efficient thing out there. I think there is more efficient things. They're just being suppressed, like I said. But yeah, that was my funny story for this week. It's just another one of them crazy things I did in my life. I just went down and tried to meet Marc Cuban randomly one day in 2009, just years and years ago. So I've been plugging away at this for a long time. Like I said, I had a little boy that passed away, and that's why I do all this. I just put my heart out there and try and do everything I can to help the world in any way possible. So I appreciate everybody for keeping along. Feel free to like and subscribe. I just do this stuff, like I said, every day. I'm trying to create some kind of positivity in the world, and once a week I release inventions and funny stories. So I appreciate everybody for following along. Thanks, guys.